welcome back to a new YouTube video. Last week I went to New York City, and so I thought I would film a art supply and stationery haul. Most of it is stationery, but I do have a few art bits that I picked up from Blicks. So I'm going to separate them into shops and show you what I bought. So I'm going to start with Blicks, and I was really impressed by how many there were in NYC. Once we found the first one, I kept seeing them everywhere, and I was really jealous because we definitely don't have anything like that here, certainly not of the size and the amount of supplies in there. So I wasn't totally excessive in Blicks because I do feel like I've got everything that I need in terms of art supplies. I mentioned it to my patrons that I'm okay and happy with all of the Nia colours I have, but the one thing I did feel like I was missing was a perfect sky blue. So I did pick up a new Nia Colour 2 pastel, and this is the light cobalt blue, and this is just a really lovely warm toned blue. I did use it whilst I was out there and did some plein air drawing, which I will post on Instagram this week, so you'll get a little sneak peek here, but I used it for the blue up here in the sky. You can actually see that I did this in my hotel room, and then I did this plein air, and you can really see how, because it was so cold, I think it was about 0 degrees that day, it really affected the texture that I was putting down. It wasn't as smooth. You can see here the pigment went down really well, and it was a lot harder, and I had to really push on the pastel, which is why it's already getting a bit blunt. So I thought that was interesting, but it's a really lovely blue and I'm excited to use it more in my work. I think this is definitely going to be one of my favourite colours. And I also picked up a pan pastel. I bought a couple of soft pastels from Jackson's, and I really enjoyed using those. I've been seeing a lot of artists use pan pastels, especially recently, but they are so expensive, and although it's an art supply I'd love to buy loads of, I wanted to just try it first. So I bought a green. This is the Hansa Yellow Extra Dark, and mostly because I do a lot of landscapes, so I know I'll get a lot of use out of this, and I have swatched it a little bit, so you can see there where I put my finger in. But I think this is a really nice green for trees and grass, so I think I'll get a lot of use out of this, and it's a good way to try out the material. I will see how I go with this one before I buy any more, but I'm not planning on buying a set just because I do think they are quite expensive for what they are. And then the last thing I bought at Blicks was this Strathmore mixed media paper in this perfect bound sketchbook. There are 64 pages in here, and it felt like really lovely paper. This is something I tried to get over here, but very few art stores actually stock Strathmore, especially in the mixed media. I remember asking an art supply store specifically for this, and they hadn't even heard of it. So it's definitely more of an American brand. So I wasn't sure whether to get this because I don't really need another sketchbook, but something I can't get over here, and I have been wanting to try it for a long time. It doesn't lie very flat, it will obviously need pushing out a little bit more, and it is a lot thicker and a little bit more textured than the usual Royal Talon sketchbooks that I normally use. But I'm excited to give this a go, and I'm hoping not to be too precious in it because it does feel like really nice paper, whereas in my Royal Talons ones it feels a little bit less pressure. So I'm hoping to be able to start using this, and I think it will take wet media really, really nicely. Next up, I went to Michael's, and I didn't buy a huge amount in there. I did get a couple of plates and some other little decorative bits. But in terms of art stuff, I mostly bought things for scrapbooking and art journaling. So distress inks I see all of the time, and I don't have any, but this was on a buy one get one free offer, and it was a really good offer, so I wanted to try them out. This pack is more my usual muted tones. I think I'll use them a lot in my journaling. And I also really love this colour combination. I do have quite a few stamps that I don't use, and so I'm hoping that by having these really good size and easy to hand inks, I'll be able to use them more, especially in my journaling next year. They're a lot more expensive over here, so I was excited to see these on offer. And then the other thing I got was this Paige Evans chipboard sticker set. This was an absolute bargain. I found it on their clearance for $1. And I couldn't resist. It did get a little beat up in my suitcase on the way home, but I used to use these sort of things all the time on my scrapbooking layouts, but I haven't scrapbooked in a really long time, and it's one of those hobbies that's kind of been pushed aside whilst I focus more on my art. I'm hoping to do a few more pages next year though, and I think this will be a lovely one to embellish with. Next up we went to Muji. I picked up this really cute little postcard, which I'm planning on using in a journal to document my trip, which I'll show you in a minute. I also picked up a 2023 month and weekly planner. This was a really good price. This was $8.90 and it has the days on the left and then loads of space here for notes. Usually I use just this space for like my to-do lists, so I have a separate planner for personal stuff compared to my Notion for work, so I'm excited to use this for my personal to-dos and house stuff and things I need to keep track of. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to adjust the way I currently use it to make use of this gridded paper over here, but I was really pleased with this. And at the back here I've just stored a few leaves which I picked up in New York and I want to include in my journal. And then I picked up another little notebook. This was only 90 cents, so it's super cheap, and I like to use these again for notes or quick scribbles. So I've used this before, which I've used for planning some of my travel sketchbook pages, which look like this. So it's just really handy for little scrappy sketches. Then I went to Kinokuniya, and that is an amazing shop, but that is quite overwhelming. There's a lot of stuff there, so I didn't buy too much. We did get a really nice poster for the new office, which says New York, and it's a really nice graphic style. But in terms of stationery, I just bought two things. I got this juice up pen, so I have one of these in teal and also brown, which I got from a NicoNeco subscription box a couple of years ago now, and I really love the way that it writes, so I picked it up in this purple shade. And I also got these stickers. So Christmas stickers is something that I'm actually lacking quite a lot of, so I wanted to pick up quite a few things I can decorate my journal with this year for the festive season. So these are just sticker flakes which I plan on using in my Hobonichi, and I find them really easy to use and they go over the grid paper really nicely. So I'm looking forward to using them over Christmas. Next up we went to Daiso. This was a shop I discovered in Japan when we went in 2020 and I loved it. It's slightly more expensive in New York, but we don't have any over here in the UK, so I was really excited to have a browse. And I got so many stationery bits and a lot of washi tape. Again, I wanted some more festive washi tape because I don't have much, so a lot of these are very seasonal. But I really liked this design. I think this will go at the bottom of my Hobonichi really nicely. I also bought this one, which is kind of like little stamps, and I can tear those off individually or use it as a full strip. Some of these are open because I did do some journaling whilst I was out there. So this is a set. I thought this was two separate tapes, but it's actually one. And this was really nice to use as a border in my Hobonichi. So this is like very light beige diagonal lines and then a solid teal. I also got this number one, which I think just goes up to 31, so it'll be perfect for using as dates. But I'll probably just use this as decoration in one long strip. Then I bought this really lovely floral design. This is quite chunky compared to a lot of my washi tapes, but these can also be fussy cut individually for individual elements. And that was a set with this one, which is a lovely pink background one. And again, I think you can cut these up individually. Then the last washi tape I got was this festive set again. I really love this pink shade with the different icons on, and then this top one can be used all year, I think, but it does have the more festive colour palette. I picked up these pencils as well, which are wooden pencils with a multicolour lead. So these are obviously Daiso branded. These are the Niji Aero pencil, and you can see there all the different colours, which is really fun. I've seen a lot of artists use coloured pencils like this, not this brand, but these were really cheap. You get two in a set, and so I thought this would be a really good way to try that out without paying for the branded one. Then I picked up this little paper notepad set, and this just made me laugh. It's got this little sheep shaving his legs, and then the other design is this little bear who's ripped his trousers, and I just think it's so fun. It does have lines on the back, so I can use them as flip outs, and I am, for 2023, using a Hobonichi cousin. So at the moment I use this Hobonichi Techo, which is the A6 size, and that's definitely been fun to fill, but I do find it quite small, so this will be perfect for like filling the A6 and having more room to write, because obviously you can see it would take up the whole page. So I'm really excited to work in that larger size for 2023. I also bought these present tags, which come with twine, but I'm actually planning on using these again for journaling. So it comes on, I think it's like a garland, it comes on one long piece of string, but I'm planning on taking these off and then using them as tip-ins and little decorative bits in my journal. They will have holes in, but I think that's totally fine, and again I'm looking forward to decorating with these. Then I picked up these paper sheets. You get 6 different designs, and again I think this will be really nice to work in my Japanese travel journal, which is still ongoing, but I'll link up here some of the videos, and I do have a playlist for those as well, which I'll link down below. But I think this will be really nice for scrapbooking and again to pop in that journal. This isn't stationery, but this is a cute little applique that I picked up because I think I'll stick this on the front of my next sketchbook. And then this is a letter set. I really love this. I think it's such a lovely design. Again, we don't have anything like this here in the UK. It's really pretty though, and writing letters is something I really enjoy and want to do more of in 2023. And this was just so pretty, I wanted to pick it up. Even if I sort of cut it up and use it as a border in some of my journaling, I think it was just too nice to not get. Then I also got these colour stickers. These are just circles. I think they're usually used for like sealing things, but again I'll be using that in my Hobonichi. I think they're just really nice to add in little pops of colour around the page. And then stickers, I got the Sumiko Gurashi ones. I love these little characters, and that's just a really fun way to pop around my page. And these are just perfect when I'm not journaling about a specific event and just want to add some colour. These NicoNeco burger sets are very cute. I used to really love this design when I was younger, and so it felt really nostalgic to see these, and I do often journal about food, so this is perfect for that. And then finally I picked up these, which is a totally different style but will work really nicely in my journal. And again, that's food themed, and they are clear stickers, so you'll be able to see the grid lines behind if I use it in my Hobonichi. But this was just a really lovely aesthetic, and I really like this style. So the last shop I went to was NicoNeco Zakkaya, and I was really excited to go here. This was a specific stationery shop that we went to find. I did also want to go to Yoseka, which is in Brooklyn, but unfortunately they were closed on both of the days we were free to go to Brooklyn. So I just went to NicoNeco and very excited to share what I bought there. I also bought this cute little gift bag design because I'm planning on fussy cutting these out and using these as elements in my journal. So very excitingly, I bought my first fancy fountain pen. This is a NicoNeco, and I'm not sure what type this is. I'm a total fountain pen newbie. I don't even know what nib this is, but it writes really lovely. I really love the colour, and it's such a cute size. I'm really excited to use this in my Hobonichi next year. And I bought these midnight blue inks. I did actually think it was going to be more purple toned to match this box, but it's a little bit darker and more blue toned. But these are quite cheap to pick up at Cult Pens anyway, so I can always buy some more refills. But I really loved this colour, and I was excited to buy my first fancy fountain pen. I mean, it wasn't fancy in terms of price, it was actually really reasonable. I think it was $25. I've been really interested in fountain pens recently thanks to the stationery community that I've been following on Twitch. So I also bought this cool grey mild liner. I'm really enjoying using these to highlight behind dates and things, so I wanted to just add a neutral to my collection. So they packaged it really nicely, and I had a couple of these paper bags, which again I'll reuse in my journal. In this one I picked up this cute little sticker, which I'll be using to document the visit to NicoNeco Zakkaya and this was a perfect postcard for my trip, so I had to pick this one up too. Then I picked up quite a few stickers. NicoNeco was one of the main places I wanted to visit and spend my money, so I didn't buy any clothes or anything. I knew that a lot of my budget would be spent here, so I didn't want to feel like held back, and I've been saving because I knew I wanted to spend some money here. So I've kind of been on a no buy in terms of this sort of thing, so I could go a little bit wild in there. And I love these ones. These stickers are really cute. I can't tell you who they're by, but they are made by Mindwave, and I just really love this. I love all these little envelopes and the cute little postman motif. So I think these will be cute to dot around the page. I also picked up these peon stickers. I have heard of these before. I'm not sure if these are rub-ons, but I really love this graphic style. I think it's really pretty and I really like the colours. Then I got these Hanko seal stickers. These are die cut, so I could see there's a very thin outline there, but I thought these will be perfect, and also for documenting our visits to Central Park. And those are Mindwave as well. And then lastly, I got these Suatelia stickers. This is more food. Like I said, I do like to document all my meals and things, so this will be perfect, especially for our trip, as we did have a lot of pizza and burgers, and I just thought this was a really lovely style. Then I picked up this memo notepad set. So this is Flower and Animals. This is by Aiko Fukawa, and I've been eyeing up a lot of their designs on Cute Things from Japan, and I was very tempted, but obviously I was on my no buy, and so I was excited to see one in NicoNeco. Quite a few different designs in a notepad, and then it repeats itself. But again, I thought this would be perfect for my Hobonichi cousin to fill up more of the page and write in little quotes and things that I want to keep separate from the rest of my journaling. And it was just a really lovely and colourful design. I think if they had more, I would have liked to have bought more, but this was the main design that caught my eye. And then, very excitingly, my biggest purchase over there was the Traveller's Notebook. So this is the Traveller's Airlines set, and this is the limited edition. It was on offer as well, that they had this on clearance. So when I saw it, because I've been thinking about it for such a long time and debating whether or not to get it, because I saw it on clearance and it just seems perfect to have the airlines edition for my trip, I decided to pick it up. So this is my first proper traveller's notebook. I do have my Japan one, which is the same sort of style, but that was just a cheap version from Flying Tiger. So I'm really excited to have a play in this. This is how I'm going to document my New York trip. So it does come with like little ephemera pieces which I can use around my pages. This is the little plain charm that will go around it. It comes with a pencil, and then this is the main notebook. So I'm looking forward to using this in there as well. Like, I will use all of this as ephemera in my journal. And I think if I was picking up a plain traveller's notebook, I would have gone with the blue anyway. So this was just perfect. I'm going to document New York in here, and when we go on honeymoon to Japan, I'm also planning on documenting that in this book as well. So it just seems perfect to journal in for our holidays. And it comes with this lovely design insert, and then it's blank pages, which is perfect for me because that's how I prefer it. I also like the grid one, so if I get another insert, I'll probably put that in as well, and I can use this extra elastic band. I definitely want to have a look on YouTube and Instagram to find some more inspiration for Traveller's Notebook. This is slightly larger and wider than the version I've got, the cheaper one I got for my Japan journal for 2020. But I'm excited to fill this up and really see it expand. I'm going to pop the little plain charm on here and set this up between the Christmas and New Year period. So I'm really excited to have this, and really excited to put all of my New York memories in here. So I also just thought I'd show you some of the ephemera, as well as this little sticker book which I picked up when we were browsing Chelsea Market. This was only $1.99, and I have used a lot of these stickers already. in my Hobonichi, but they're perfect for documenting New York. So in my Hobonichi, I'm just going to do a rundown of each day, whereas my traveler's notebook is going to have more of the things that I bought and more like curated memories, whereas my Hobonichi will be like basically listing what we did each day. So I did pick up quite a few postcards. We went to Levan Bakery, which is an amazing bakery that do really delicious cookies. And I just thought this postcard was perfect. This will go really nicely in my traveler's notebook. And we bought a box of cookies, which had this lovely sleeve on, and it's just such a sweet graphic. And I'm excited to cut this up as well. We went to Rockefeller, and they had this cute postcard, and their designs for their like basic leaflet is just lovely with all these really nice illustrations. So I picked up a couple of these so I can fussy cut all of these nice designs. It's just really nicely illustrated and has lots of different things, like we went to the Lego store and things. So instead of me having to draw it out, I can cut it from these leaflets. We also went to the Met, so I picked up a couple of their leaflets with these beautiful illustrations on, so I can cut these out and see how I can make them work in my traveler's notebook. So that's everything art and stationery wise that I picked up in New York City. I hope you enjoyed watching this one, and I'm excited to use those in my journaling. I am hoping to film more journaling videos in 2023, and hopefully I'll be able to record some of my traveler's notebook as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love to know which is your favourite piece down below in the comments, and if you've added anything to your wish list, or if there's anything that you think is missing, or have any recommendations for my traveler's notebook, then I would really love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Sunday with a new YouTube video. See you later!